Dr. Hansol stared at the data screen with wide eyes. He had studied thousands of species across hundreds of planets, but these readings made no sense. The numbers about human capabilities kept surprising him. Jai-Yun, are you sure these readings are correct? He asked his research assistant, who stood nearby with her tablet. Yes, doctor. I've checked them 5 times already, Jai-Yun replied, pushing her glasses up her nose. Humans can run for hours without stopping. They can throw objects with amazing accuracy. They can survive in both very hot and very cold places. It's all true. Dr. Hansol walked to the window of the Earth observation station. From up here, the planet looked peaceful, blue oceans, white clouds, and green lands. But down there, humans were doing things that should be impossible for creatures their size. Just yesterday, he had watched videos of humans running something called a marathon. They ran for hours under the hot sun. Most species would die trying to do that. But humans, they called it a sport. The Galactic Science Council won't believe this, he muttered, shaking his head. They think humans are just another weak species because they don't have claws or sharp teeth. Jai-Yun walked up with another data tablet. Look at this, doctor. A human female lifted 3 times her body weight yesterday. And here's a video of a human male swimming in ice-cold water for 2 hours. The station's computer beeped. A message from the council appeared. Your recent reports about human capabilities appear exaggerated. Please check your equipment for errors. Dr. Hansol laughed. Of course they didn't believe him. He hadn't believed it himself when he first started studying humans 3 months ago. But every day brought new surprises. Jai-Yun, prepare the observation pod. We're going down there, he said, putting on his environmental suit. If the council wants proof, we'll give them proof. What are we going to observe? Jai-Yun asked, already gathering her research tools. There's a human event happening tomorrow. They call it a firefighting competition. Humans run into burning buildings to save others. The council thinks we're making up stories. Wait until they see humans walking through fire to help strangers. As they prepared for their trip to Earth's surface, Dr. Hansol looked at his research notes. In his long career as a galactic zoologist, he had never seen anything like humans. Most species evolved to be good at one thing: running, swimming, climbing, or fighting. But humans? They could do it all. Jai-Yun, he called out, make sure we record everything tomorrow. I think we're just beginning to understand why humans are so powerful. The observation pod hummed to life as they prepared to descend to Earth. Dr. Hansol felt excited. After studying so many species across the galaxy, he might have finally found the most interesting one of all. What made humans so special? He had a feeling he was about to find out much more than he expected. And the Galactic Science Council would have to accept the truth. On this small blue planet, something extraordinary had evolved. Dr. Hansol and Jai-Yun sat in their hidden observation pod at the edge of a hot African savanna. They had been watching a group of human hunters for 6 hours now. The temperature outside was 40 degrees Celsius, but the humans kept running. This is impossible, Jai-Yun whispered, checking her instruments again. These humans have been chasing that antelope since morning. They're not even using vehicles or weapons. Dr. Hansol nodded, taking more notes. It's called persistence hunting. Most animals can run faster than humans, but humans can run longer. They just keep following until the animal gets too tired. Through their special cameras, they watched as the human hunters jogged steadily through the heat. They followed the antelope's tracks, never letting it rest for long. The animal would run away fast, but the humans would find it again. And again. And again. Look at their skin, Dr. Hansol pointed out. They're covered in sweat. That's their secret. Most animals can't cool down while running, but humans can sweat all over their bodies. They're like living cooling machines. Jai-Yun's computer beeped with new data. Doctor, you need to see this. I've been comparing their running data with other species. Even the best running animals need to stop and rest in this heat. But these humans, they just keep going. As they watched, the hunters finally caught up with the exhausted antelope. Instead of attacking it, they simply walked up to it. The animal was too tired to run anymore. "Send all this data to the council," Dr. Hansall said. "But first, we have another event to observe." They moved their pod to a different location, a place humans called a sports stadium. Here, they watched something even more surprising: humans running for fun. They're having a competition called a track meet, Jai-Yun explained, reading from her datapad. "Look at this." After running until they're exhausted, they celebrate. They're actually happy about pushing their bodies this hard. Dr. Hansall watched as human athletes raced around the track. Some ran short distances at incredible speeds. Others ran longer distances, pacing themselves carefully. In the middle of the field, some humans were throwing heavy objects as far as they could. "In all my years studying alien species," Dr. Hansall said, "I've never seen anything like this. Most species only use their full physical abilities when they must, for survival, for food, or to escape danger. But humans? They do it for fun, for sport, to see how far they can push themselves." Jai-Yun started packing up their equipment. "Should we tell the council about the other things we've seen? About their swimming competitions, their climbing of frozen mountains, their dancing?" Dr. Hansall smiled. "Not yet. Let them process this data first. Besides, we still haven't figured out the biggest mystery." "What's that?" Jai-Yun asked. "Why humans keep trying to go beyond their limits. Every time we think we understand what they can do, they surprise us by doing more." He looked at his notes again. "Tomorrow, we're going to observe something they call weightlifting. Apparently, some humans can lift more than 4 times their body weight." As they prepared to leave, both scientists knew they were just beginning to understand the physical paradox of humans. These creatures weren't just surviving. They were constantly pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Tai-1 stood in front of the giant screen in the Earth observation station, pointing at different images of human brain activity. Dr. Hansall and Jai-Yun watched with growing amazement. "You won't believe what we found," Tai-1 said, his eyes bright with excitement. "When humans face a problem they can't solve, their brains don't give up. Instead, they light up with more activity. They actually get excited by challenges." Dr. Hansall walked closer to the screen. "Show me the experiment results." Tai-1 pressed a button, and new images appeared. They showed humans solving puzzles, building machines, and creating art. Their brains glowed with activity in the scans. "Look at this," Tai-1 pointed. "When we show most alien species a problem they can't solve, they stop trying. But humans, they try harder. They come up with new ways to solve it. Sometimes, they even make up completely new solutions nobody has thought of before." Jai-Yun was taking notes on her tablet. "That explains how they went from simple tools to space travel in just a few thousand years. Most species take millions of years to make such progress." "Exactly." Tai-1 smiled. "But here's the most interesting part. When humans solve a hard problem, their brains release happy chemicals. They actually feel good about doing difficult things." Dr. Hansall watched a video of a human child learning to ride a bicycle. The child fell many times, but kept trying until they succeeded. "Most species avoid things that cause failure or pain," he said quietly. "But humans seem to be different. They call it learning from failure," Tai-1 explained. "And they teach it to their children on purpose. Can you imagine? They encourage trying things that might not work." The screen changed to show more images. Humans building tall buildings. Humans diving deep in the ocean. Humans flying in machines they built themselves. "Their creativity is extraordinary too," Jai-Yun added. "They don't just solve problems. They find new problems to solve. They ask questions about things that already work, wondering if they could work better." Dr. Hansall picked up a human device called a smartphone. "In just 100 years, They went from simple electrical machines to this, a small computer more powerful than what most species develop in thousands of years. Taiwan nodded, and they're never satisfied. As soon as they make something new, they start thinking about how to improve it. The council needs to understand this, Dr. Hansall said firmly. Humans aren't just physically strong. Their real power is in how their minds work. They don't accept limits. They don't stop at good enough. They always want to know more, do more, be more. Jai-yun looked worried. Should we be concerned? A species that advances this quickly? Dr. Hansall shook his head. No. Look at how they use their abilities. Yes, they make weapons, but they also make medicines. They build walls, but they also build bridges. Their creativity can be used for many things, not just for fighting. As they continued studying the brain scans, all three scientists knew they were seeing something special. Humans weren't just another species with interesting abilities. They were something new in the galaxy. Creatures who saw impossible things as challenges to overcome, not as limits to accept. The real question was, what would they achieve next? Duha's presentation room was filled with screens showing different human gatherings. Dr. Hansall, Jai-yun, and Ta-won watched as scenes played out before them. Families having dinner, friends playing games, workers building houses together, and crowds cheering at sports events. This is what makes humans truly special, Duha said, pointing to the screens. Their ability to work together is unlike anything we've seen in other species. But many species work in groups, Jai-yun said. Ants build colonies. Birds fly in flocks. What makes humans different? Duha smiled and pressed a button. A new video showed humans forming a long line to pass buckets of water, fighting a fire that threatened their village. See this. These humans don't even know each other. But when there's trouble, they work together without anyone telling them what to do. They just help. Dr. Hansall watched closely. How many humans were involved in this event? 326, Duha answered. They saved their village, and then, this is the interesting part, they helped rebuild houses for people they'd never met before. Taiwan stepped closer to one screen. Are they related to each other? No. Duha shook his head. That's what's amazing. Humans help strangers. They share food with people they don't know. They rescue others even when it's dangerous for them. The screens changed to show more scenes. Humans organizing food drives, building shelters, teaching children, and caring for sick people. Look at their hospitals, Duha continued. Humans spend years learning how to help sick people, not just their family members, but anyone who needs help. They call it being a doctor or a nurse. Jai-yun was writing quickly on her tablet, and they pass on what they learn. Yes, they have special buildings called schools where older humans teach younger ones. They share everything they know, not just with their own children, but with everyone's children. Dr. Hansall pointed to another screen showing humans arguing. But they fight too. They have conflicts. That's another fascinating thing, Duha explained. Watch what happens next. The video continued, showing the arguing humans sitting down to talk. They were writing something on paper. They make rules together, Duha said. When they disagree, they find ways to solve problems by talking. They create laws that everyone agrees to follow. It's not perfect, but they keep trying to make it better. These social bonds, Dr. Hansall said thoughtfully, they make humans stronger. Much stronger, Duha nodded. One human can build a house, but many humans working together. They build cities. One human can learn something new, but many humans sharing knowledge. They can learn to fly to the stars. As they watched more videos, they saw humans celebrating together, comforting each other when sad, and helping each other grow food. The council needs to understand this, Dr. Hansall said. Humans aren't just strong because of their bodies or their minds. They're strong because they work together. They help each other. They make each other better. Du had turned off the screens, and that might be their greatest power of all. Humans don't just survive together. They make each other stronger. Every human can do a little, but together, they can do almost anything. The observation station's main room was quiet as everyone watched the historical records that Minho had collected. The screen showed humans surviving in situations that seemed impossible. These records go back hundreds of years, Minho explained to Dr. Hansol and the team. Every time humans faced a disaster, they didn't just survive. They came back stronger. On one screen, they watched humans rebuilding a city after a massive earthquake. On another, they saw people helping each other through terrible storms. Most species run away from disasters, Jia-Yun said, looking at her notes. They find new places to live. But humans stay and rebuild. Minho finished her sentence. Look at this city called Tokyo. 100 years ago, a big earthquake destroyed it. Now it's one of the largest cities on Earth. Dr. Hansol walked closer to the screens. Show them the survival stories. Minho pressed some buttons, and new images appeared. They showed humans surviving in the coldest places on Earth, in the hottest deserts, and even on the highest mountains. This one is amazing. Minho pointed to one screen. A human survived alone on the ocean for 438 days. His small boat was lost, but he didn't give up. He caught fish, collected rainwater, and kept himself alive until someone found him. Taiwan, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Are there more stories like this? Minho nodded excitedly. Many more. Humans trapped in mountains for weeks. People surviving in deserts. Groups living through terrible winters with almost no food. They just keep going. Duha, who was studying the social patterns, added something interesting. And they tell these stories to their children. They don't hide the scary parts. They teach others how to survive. The teen watched more videos. Humans building homes in frozen lands. People making gardens in dry deserts. Communities working together to survive floods. But here's the most incredible thing, Minho said, showing new images. After each disaster, humans try to learn from it. They build stronger buildings. They make better warning systems. They find new ways to help each other. Dr. Hansol picked up a human history book. So they don't just survive. They learn and improve. Exactly, Minho said. Look at their medical science. Every time a disease hurt many humans, they didn't just heal the sick people. They studied the disease. They found ways to stop it from happening again. They made medicines to help future generations. Jia-Yun was writing everything down. This explains why they spread to so many places on their planet. They don't just adapt to new places. They find ways to live almost anywhere. The screens showed more images. Humans living in space stations, researchers working in Antarctica, people building homes underground. The council needs to see this, Dr. Hansol said firmly. Humans aren't just tough. They learn from every challenge. They get stronger after every problem. And most importantly, they never stop trying. As they continued watching the survival stories, everyone in the room understood something important. Humans weren't just another species that could handle tough times. They were creatures who sought every challenge as a chance to become better, stronger, and smarter than before. Yoongi's laboratory was filled with human inventions from different time periods. Dr. Hansol and his team walked among the displays, looking at everything from simple stone tools to complex computers. This is what makes humans truly special, Yoongi said, picking up an old wheel. They see something difficult and think, how can I make this easier? Dr. Hansol looked at a timeline on the wall. They invented the wheel only 5,000 years ago. Yes, Yoongi smiled. And look where they are now. He pointed to a model of a space rocket. In just 5,000 years, they went from rolling logs to flying to their moon. No other species has ever developed so quickly. Jia-Yun was studying an old steam engine. But how do they do it? How do they think of these things? Yoon-gai walked to a big screen and turned it on. It showed humans working in different laboratories and workshops. They never stop asking questions. Look at this group. They're trying to make cars that can drive themselves. And these people are working on medicines that can fight new diseases. Most species stop once they find something that works. Taiwan noted, if they have enough food and shelter, they're happy. But not humans, Yoon-gai said. They always ask, what if? What if we could go faster? What if we could build bigger? What if we could live longer? They're never satisfied with good enough. The screen changed to show more inventors working. Some were building tiny robots. Others were creating new types of food. One group was working on ways to clean the ocean. And look at this, Yoon-gai said excitedly. When one human invents something, they share it with others. Then more humans make it better. They call it standing on the shoulders of giants, using old ideas to make new ones. Dr. Hansol picked up something called a smartphone. This tiny device has more computing power than what most species develop in 10,000 years. And they made it in just 30 years. Yoon-gai nodded. From big computers that filled whole rooms to small ones that fit in their pockets. But here's the most amazing part. They're already working on making them better. Minho, who had been quiet, spoke up. Doesn't this fast progress scare them? Don't they worry about changing things too quickly? Sometimes they do, Yoon-gai admitted. But look at this. He showed videos of humans discussing their inventions, arguing about how to use them safely. They think about the problems their inventions might cause. They try to find ways to make them safer. The team watched more videos of human innovation. People inventing new ways to grow food in dry places, creating machines to help disabled people walk, and building huge telescopes to look at distant stars. The council needs to understand this. Dr. Hansol said, humans don't just make tools. They constantly improve them. They share their knowledge. And most importantly, they use their inventions to solve problems and help others. As they left the laboratory, everyone was thinking about what they had seen. Humans weren't just clever toolmakers. They were dreamers who turned their dreams into reality, inventors who used each invention as a stepping stone to the next one. Sun Mi's Environmental Research Center had walls covered with maps showing where humans lived. Dr. Hansol and his team were amazed to see humans living in almost every type of place on Earth. This is what makes humans really special, Sun Mi said, pointing to the maps. They don't just survive in different places. They make those places better for living. The main screen showed humans living in the cold Arctic. They had built warm houses in the snow and ice. Another screen showed people living in hot deserts, with clever buildings that stayed cool inside. Most species can only live in places that suit them naturally, Jae-yun said, taking notes. But humans change the environment to suit them. Sun Mi finished. Look at this city in Dubai. 100 years ago, it was empty desert. Now it has tall buildings, green parks, and millions of people living there. Dr. Hansol watched a video of humans building an underwater research station. They even go where they're not supposed to survive. Exactly. Sun Mi pressed some buttons, showing more images. They live at the bottom of the ocean. They work on top of mountains. They even built a space station to live above their planet. Taiwan looked amazed. How do they do it? How do they live in so many different places? Sun Mi walked to another screen showing human inventions. They make special tools for each place. In cold areas, they make warm clothes and strong houses. In hot places, they build cooling systems. Under the ocean, they make special breathing equipment. The team watched videos of humans farming in different places. They grew food in frozen lands, made gardens in deserts, and even started growing plants inside buildings in big cities. But here's the most interesting part, Sun Mi said, showing new images. They're learning to fix environments they've damaged. Look at these forests. Humans are planting new trees. They're cleaning polluted rivers. They're finding ways to use clean energy from the sun and wind. Duha, who studied human social behavior, added something important. And they teach others how to do these things. When one group learns to live in a hard place, they share what they learned. The screens showed more amazing things. Humans building floating cities, making gardens in the sky on tall buildings, and turning old factories into parks. The council won't believe this, Dr. Hansall said, shaking his head. Humans don't just adapt to their environment like other species. They reshape it. They improve it. Yes, Sunmay agreed. But look at this. She showed newer videos of humans working to protect nature. They're learning to balance change with preservation. They're trying to make things better without destroying what's already there. As they watched more videos, they saw humans living in places that seemed impossible, deep in the Amazon rainforest, high in the Himalaya mountains, and even in research stations in Antarctica. Now they're planning to live on other planets, Sunmai said quietly. They're already designing homes for Mars. Everyone in the room understood something important. Humans weren't just good at living in different places. They were masters at making any place livable, while learning to protect and improve the environment around them. Hejin's security analysis room was different from the other research areas. The screens showed humans responding to various threats and dangers. Dr. Hansall and his team watched with great interest. Everyone thinks humans are weak because they don't have natural weapons, Hejin said, pointing to the main screen. No sharp claws, no powerful jaws, no poison. But that's what makes them amazing. The screen showed humans facing a forest fire. Instead of running away, they were working together to fight it. Most species run from danger, Jayun noted, but humans run toward it to help others. Yes, Hejin nodded. And look at this. He showed videos of rescue teams helping people after storms and earthquakes. They have special groups trained to help during disasters. They call them first responders. Dr. Hansall watched as humans formed long chains to rescue people from floodwaters. They risk their own lives to save others. All the time, Hejin replied. But it's not just about physical courage. Look at this. He changed the screens to show different human defense systems. They saw early humans making simple tools for protection. Then the images moved through time, showing how humans learn to work together to defend their communities. When humans feel threatened, Hojin explained, something interesting happens. They stop their normal arguments and work together. Small groups join to make bigger groups. Different countries help each other. Taiwan pointed to one screen. Are those humans building a wall? Yes, but not just walls. Hejin showed more images. They make early warning systems for storms. They build ships to rescue people at sea. They create medicines to fight diseases. Every threat they face, they find a way to defend against it. The team watched more videos. Firefighters saving people from burning buildings, doctors fighting dangerous diseases, and engineers building stronger buildings to survive earthquakes. But here's what's really special, Hejin said, showing new images. Humans don't just defend themselves. They defend others who can't fight back. Look at these people protecting endangered animals, or these groups saving forests. Duha, who studied human social behavior, spoke up. They even protect things that have no direct benefit to them. Exactly, Hejin smiled. They protect art, old buildings, ancient forests, things they believe are important for everyone. Dr. Hansall walked closer to the screens. The council needs to understand this. Humans aren't powerful because they're naturally strong. They're powerful because they work together to protect what matters to them. The screens showed more examples. Humans building flood barriers to protect cities, creating systems to watch for dangerous asteroids in space, and working together to stop climate change. And look at this, Hejin said finally. When humans face a big enough threat, something remarkable happens. He showed videos of different countries working together. They forget their differences. They share their knowledge. They become one team. Everyone in the room understood the message. Humans weren't just survivors or builders. They were protectors who would fight not just for themselves, but for anything they believed needed defending. The main hall of the Galactic Science Council was packed. Scientists from 100 different worlds had come to hear Dr. Hansol's final report about humans. His entire research team stood beside him as he prepared to speak. Respected council members, Dr. Hansol began. What we found about humans will change how we see all species in our galaxy. The giant screen behind him showed images from their research. Jai Yun managed the display while Dr. Hansol spoke. When we first went to Earth, we thought humans were just another ordinary species. They weren't the strongest, fastest, or biggest. But we were wrong. Humans are extraordinary in ways we never expected. He pointed to the first set of images, showing human athletes and workers. Their bodies can adapt to almost anything. They can run for days, swim in icy waters, and work in terrible heat. They don't just survive. They push themselves to do more. The screen changed to show human inventions. Their minds never stop working. They solve problems in new ways. When they can't do something, they invent tools to help them do it. They went from simple stone tools to space rockets in just a few thousand years. Taiwan stepped forward to show brain scan data. Their brains actually enjoy solving hard problems. They get excited by challenges that would make other species give up. Duha presented next, showing scenes of human cooperation. They work together better than any species we've studied. They help strangers, share knowledge, and unite when facing dangers. Min Ho's survival records appeared on screen. They learn from every disaster. They come back stronger. They teach others how to survive. Yoongi showed their technological progress. They never stop improving their tools. Each invention leads to more inventions. They share their discoveries so everyone can benefit. Sunlei presented their environmental adaptations. They can live anywhere. They changed their environment while learning to protect it. Now they're planning to live on other planets. Hejin's defense analysis was last. When threatened, they become stronger. They unite to protect not just themselves, but anything they value: art, nature, knowledge, and each other. Dr. Hansol stepped forward again. Council members, humans are not powerful because of any one thing. They are powerful because they combine all these abilities. They have strong bodies, clever minds, and caring hearts. They work together, learn from everything, and never stop trying to be better. The council chamber was quiet. Then one council member spoke up. Are they dangerous to us? Dr. Hansol smiled. No, they are curious about other life. They dream of meeting other species. Their stories and art show they want to learn from others, not fight them. What should we do about them? Another council member asked. Watch, learn, and prepare to meet them. Dr. Hansol answered. Humans will find us eventually. They never stop exploring. When that day comes, we should greet them as equals. They may be young compared to other species, but they have much to teach us. As the council members discussed the report, Dr. Hansol looked at his team. They had discovered something amazing, a species that proved there was always more to learn about life in the galaxy.